Hi everyone, welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Today we are joined with,
Ana Viera.
we're super excited to have another video. I don't know if you've watched our last video, but we are going to be making a series of videos talking all things cleaning business, in particular commercial cleaning. So welcome back. Thank you so much for coming. We're super excited. Everyone loves your videos. So we're super happy to continue to make more videos. So let's get started.
Yeah. I'm so glad to be here. I love to share knowledge. I think that knowledge is power, right? I
Absolutely.
believe that, money can go away, everything can go away, but knowledge, once you get it, you always have the opportunity to grow your business and also to grow, right? So today we're going to be talking about name of the business, federal IDs, state IDs, and also logo. So those are the four things that people need in order to open a business, right? All the time when sometimes I used to go and give, for example, this estimate. And sometimes, the clients would show me, oh, so and so came over here and they gave me this tax ID, right? And or gave me this actually business card, and I'm looking, and I usually take a picture, and then I got home, I look at it, I couldn't find anything in the state. Just because people have a business card doesn't mean that they have a legit business, right?
That is
So
very
this,
true. I'm
right.
going to tell you, there's so many people that will stop by some of my office accounts and they'll be dropping cards off and stuff. And my clients will be like, Dave, these people don't even, they're just dropping business cards off left and right. And I just laugh.
Yeah, because a lot of times, just because you have a business card doesn't mean that you have a business. And this
Absolutely.
is one of the things that a lot of times we have to educate our clients, right? But the first thing, the most important when you think about you opening a business, is your name, the name of a business, right? And name of the business, it is the identity of your business, okay? And they are breaking in three parts, right? You have actually the name, the first name that you're going to call your business. The second part, it is the kind of services that you're going to provide to your clients, services or goods that you're selling. And the third part, you're going to identify your business as a LLC or a Inc. This is just mostly like an accounting part, right? So the first part, it is the name, right? You have to be careful of the name that you're going to put it over there, because that is how people are going to identify your business. Don't put anything silly on it. Don't put anything silly on it, because unfortunately, people are going to look in your business like, what is his name? Sometimes people like to put their last name, or sometimes they want to put name of the kids. You have to sit and you have to think about it, how you want people to identify your business, how they want to call your business. Okay? Don't put anything silly. Another thing that you have to take in consideration, it is the print that you're going to have in your shirt and you're going to have in your website. Has to be something that people can look at it and respect it, and also respect you. Be careful when you choose names, because there are a lot of people out there that have the same names. So you have to choose something unique, right? This is the part of your business, the first part of your name of your business. The second part, it is a kind of services that you're going to do. Many people sometimes, especially in the cleaning business, right? They say, okay, let me give you an example. Maria Residential Cleaning Services, right? It's just an example. So you already tell your client that you are over there cleaning only residential. If you in the future want to do something different other than residential, your name, unfortunately, is going to block other clients, because you over there in the name is telling them right there that you're going to do only residential. How are you going to approach those things? You can put Maria Cleaning Services, right? You put in cleaning it, but you're not specify what you clean. But on your website, on your business card, you can go list of the things that you do, right? So you have to be careful how you classify your business, because If you put a residential over there, people gonna go, okay, she only does residential. If you put it over there, oh, I cleaning strip club, Marie Strip Club Cleaning LLC. Oh my gosh, she only cleans strip club. So you have to be specific, but not that specific because you don't want to be isolated from potential clients,
And I
right?
want to add something to that. That's really good information. I want to say, for example, for like our company, when I first started, we were a mop. So we were doing majority house cleaning, right? And my logo was a mop. We were still called Dave, um, but we were a mop. So then when I started getting into commercial, I was like, all the other commercial cleaning companies, they're not a mop, they're like a building or something like that, right? Because it represents what you do. And for example, my company now we just do commercial. We completely rebranded and we're a building now. But it really does go down to what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, the name is everything, right? So you have the first name. Please don't go and choose a name that everybody that has. You know what I mean? There are a lot of names,
Absolutely.
particular names out there that you can choose, and you can identify your cleaning company and be different from everybody else. The second part, as I said, don't be so specific that you can isolate any other business that potentially in the future you want to be part of it. And the third part of your name is going to be the structure of your business. Either you're going to be LLC or you're going to be incorporated. In order for you to choose this third part of your business, you need to sit down with your business, your CPA, right? Because your CPA is going to explain to you what category you fit in, not only for your business, but for tax purposes. Every single entity, LLC, or Inc., or if you're only yourself, right? Or if you have a partner, you have to sit down and talk to your accountant, and they're gonna go through like what those structures are, and you can choose for your business. So when I started my business, it was Elite Commercial Cleaning LLC, right? So I was not incorporated. I was a LLC at the time because we just started the business, and we had at the time the plan was that as soon as I started to make at least $50,000 a year in profit, to change it to incorporated, so I could pay less taxes and I also could be employee of the business as well. So the third part, you have to sit within a CPA, not an accountant, from YouTube, or not an accounting from, who knows where. CPAs, okay? They study, they have a better understanding about the law. You even can sit with a business lawyer and talk about this. But you need to inform yourself because as your company grows, as you make money, you have to make sure that you're in compliance. So there are three things, right, with the name. The name that you're going to choose, then the name that you're going to identify your services, right? The second part, and then the structure of your business. So those are the three things that you have to choose before you go to the next step. That is the federal ID number. Every company, in order for you to create a business, okay, you have to have a federal ID number. What is a federal ID number? It's pretty much the social security of your company. That number you're going to use for everything. You're going to use when your clients ask for a W-9, or when print 1099s or W-2s for your employees. So that number, that's what you're going to use even to, buy assets for your company, cars, who knows. In that number, people doesn't know that it is free. You go to the irs.gov and you type FEIN, and over there it is free, but you have to follow you have to follow the instructions there. Make sure that you read it before you do that. Talk to you again. Talk to your accountant, your CPA, because they're going to tell you the structure of your business that you have to be under, because IRS on their webpage is going to tell you. And once you follow the instructions, they're going to give you right there that letter with your federal ID number, okay, that you're going to use with your state, right? You have to register it with the federal ID, with the federal government first, and then you're going to go to the state.
And I also that's oh my gosh, that was just a load of information. That was amazing. I want to also add, like, if you do not have a CPA or accountant, get one. You need to get one. In the beginning when we first started, we were like, oh, we're too small to have one. Like, yeah, whatever. No, get one. Get one from the beginning. If I could tell someone that's starting a business tomorrow, go get a CPA, go get an accountant, you're going to want one, because anytime we get a letter from the state or anything in between, guess what we do? We send them our letter, and guess what? They handle it. It's just a huge stress relief, right? In business, you need to find people that can do things really good and do it right the first time, and let your company focus on doing what you're good at, which is cleaning, right? Um, and so many people, like, I know I've talked to some people in the past, and they're like, oh, but I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it like under the table. Well, one day you're going to figure out the hard way, right? They're going to find out about you, and you're going to have to pay all this money back. And also another thing is you're going to lose a lot of opportunities, right? When you're not doing it the right way, you're going to lose opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah. And one other thing to add about you were talking about earlier, between houses and commercials, obviously two different things. And for at least in Maryland, we don't charge house cleaning clients sales tax, but for commercial clients, we charge them all 6% Maryland sales tax. So you gotta be in compliance. You gotta have someone that knows what they're talking about. So, like I said, a CPA or accountant, because when we were dealing with like this tax guy, and he told us, oh, you don't need to charge sales tax on any of your clients. Then we got an audit with the state, and the audit showed that we had our commercial clients have not been paying sales tax. And so we ended up having to pay this huge amount. It was like $20,000 plus of sales tax that our client should have been paying. Obviously, now we have integrated it in, since we've got a new accountant. But you just got to be really careful, because you can get yourself into some a sticky situation pretty fast. And can you add anything about that? About
Yeah.
like,
So,
yeah,
so we're gonna do. I'm not gonna give you a lot of details on that because I wanna. We're gonna do other videos about the accounting, about the structure of your business. But I'm
sorry, I
just
didn't
gonna.
mean to add that into this, but
Yeah, but it is that is okay because that helps people as well. Look,
absolutely,
there are things in business that you cannot be cheap, okay, and you cannot skip on it. It is your CPA, it is a business lawyer, and somebody that have experience in payroll and human resources, okay. Those areas, it is the areas that are going to make or break your business. I don't know how many business that I talk to it, you know especially in my Latino community, that people are losing so many opportunities, losing so much money because they don't have the education and they don't look for the education. Okay. One thing about being a business owner, I'm gonna put it out there. There are a lot of people in social media, like we talked before, right? They make everything so easy. Oh, you just sit behind the desk, you know what I mean? You just keep calling, you know what I mean? And you make $80,000 a month. Bullshit. Bullshit. Don't follow for that. Opening a business is a hard work thing to do, and you also have the responsibility not to know everything, right? But learn things, and trying to do things in the right way. So it is very important you have a CPA that is gonna be your best friend forever.
it is. I'll tell you
Okay?
from experience, it is. Do it.
The best friend, they're gonna be more important in your life than your own spouse. Okay, you have to talk to them every month, and we're gonna Later on in other videos, I'm going to talk about it because they're going to hold your hand. It's going to tell you what you can do, not doing, and it's going to help you grow in your business and potentially you jump to different business. Okay. Because one thing with the IRS, they going to take their time, but when they come to you, boo, oh my gosh, you know, there is no way around. I'm going to just touch in this subject. I had that guy, like few weeks ago, I had the issue over here on my air conditioning. Every year, I have a problem with my air conditioner, and it's new, right? So the guy came over here. He's a friend of mine that he was doing things, and my friend told him, that I know a lot about business, and we started talking a little bit about business, right? And I look at his truck and I had see all those receipts on his shield, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So he was telling me, that his cousin had a company and he never paid taxes for 60 years. Now he has a liability for over $1 million, and he found, a company that told him that he paid his tax in 5 years. He keep doing deposits in 5 years. Then he's not gonna need to pay the $1 million that he owes. I said, this is all lies. IRS don't play around. They wanted their money. So this is all kind of things that people sometimes, you know, are losing the opportunity to have good and good and strong businesses because they are doing everything that they want to do. They don't educate themselves, and then when shit hits the fan, they're like, oops, oops, oops. So this is one of the things what we do in those videos to help people realize the steps, the things that you guys, what they want to do. So as I always said, after you open your company with the federal ID, you go to the state. And this state, you're gonna say, this is the name of my company, this is my federal ID number. They're gonna ask you what kind of business you're gonna have. Because sometimes if you're selling goods, you have to put sales tax on it. They're gonna open your reholding account and so on. And they're gonna, if you have to file different things, they're gonna tell right there. Okay, this is how you do it. You choose the name first, uh, what kind of business or the services you're gonna provide. The structure business. Then you're gonna go to your federal ID, and then your federal ID you're gonna go to state. And after you went done with the state, state's gonna send you, oh, you have a company, a open company, and then you're gonna go to your logo, right? Because this is the main thing for your company now. Now let's talk about logos, right? People sometimes like to be complicated. They like to do like all those kind of things and blah blah blah. A cleaning company. They always want to put a broom, a vacuum. You know what I mean? A lady with cleaning. We are more than that. You know what I mean? You have to think outside the box. If you do commercial, you can do buildings. You can do anything other than you put a vacuum over there. You know what I mean? That just limited you to a vacuum. You have to think about it. You have to make sure that your logo is a simple logo, nothing complicated, because more you complicate your logo, when you go print and you're going to put in your website on your shirt, it's going to cost you money. I like to use the example of a Nike. Look at the logo, the Nike logo. Simple. Everybody from far away knows that Nike, right? And that costs
Mhm.
money, that doesn't cost money. But it's how they identify your business. Don't need to have a lot of colors. I always tell people to limit the colors of your logo to three. You have your main color, you have your base color, and you have your pop color. And that's it. Okay, so those are the three things. You can think about the logo when you think about the name, but usually this is the steps that you have when you open your company. Just be careful with your logo. Something simple. Know something that everybody does. Everybody has a broom. Everybody has a vacuum. Think outside the box because cleaning business is more than a mop. It is a more than a like a vacuum, a more than a broom. There are things that we do that we don't think about it. You have to think about sometimes you cannot even my logo. I used to have my logo, and I used my own name, Elite Commercial Clean, and the E was different. Was a different color, and it was a different type of letter that I use, and I did like some bubbles, like to assimilate with the soap, like when you wash your hands. Something could be that effect. Actually, I have over here. Let me see over here so I can show you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I love that. But didn't you change it again? It was
Yeah.
yeah. I mean I like both of them. They're very clean. And I agree with that. So many people try doing so many different things with logos. You got to keep it clean and simple because at the end of the day like you know like you were saying it needs to go on your shirts, your t-shirts, your mugs. Your oh here. Here actually I have a mug right here. This was like our first new logo. It was just
I
simple.
remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, where's another? I have. I'll show you our new. I'll show you our other one. I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay.
And here's like our new one. It's that. It's just
Can
it's
you put
just.
a little bit up?
Oh yeah, here you can see our. Actually, here, hold on. Let me see if we can.
Oh, that one. That is better. Well,
Yeah, so
see,
you can see it's not too messy. It's just it has two different colors and it's very eye catching, right? So and that's what people like to see.
another thing that I like when I see yours, that you didn't call David Cleaning Services. You'd put Dave Clean Consulting. You changed the name of the game.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what's also very unique.
Yes,
So
because like you, I think you elevate the names for people. Like, I'm not just a cleaning company. I'm not a cleaning services. You know what I mean? I mean more than that.
yeah, and and I'll tell you the reason why I chose this name and some I really need to make a detailed video about it, but I'll just give you a short version. I'm just gonna say, anytime you go look up on Google office cleaners near me, whatever, you see cleaning service, cleaning service, or Mary's cleaning, Molly's clean, it's always cleaning service. But I thought what would be unique is Dave's Cleaning Consultants because it's unique, right? And we're consulting with our clients about their cleaning of their buildings, right? We're not just, another cleaning company. And you're probably the same way, we're consulting about, what's wrong, what's going on, how can we improve, what can we do to make your experience with your cleaning company better, right? Some of these companies trust us every single day in their buildings to keep it clean, and it's essential, like their trash cans can't be overflown, the consumables have to be refilled. We're a true partnership, and that's what people don't understand. And some people just think as the cleaners and the cleaning company, oh, just the cleaners. But I tell all my clients we're a luxury cleaning service. We're elevating the level of service you get. So, anyways, that's a short little version.
No, no, no. This is awesome. This is awesome because you're very proud of the company that you have, right?
Absolutely.
That comes with your name, right? And this make you different from other companies out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So, and that's what I tell people all the time. We live in a world right now that people trying to make the cleaning business like a subcontractor, right? I send you a lot of the videos on Facebook, like
Oh,
people,
uh-huh.
oh my gosh, I'm sitting over here now, you know what I mean? And I just found the clients and then I contact the business and things like that. We're gonna talk to this, in another video. Me personally, I don't want that. I wanted to have a business that people can come to me, talk to me. We live in a place now of AI, you know what I mean? That there is not their relationship with your clients. And, I put myself in my clients, in my clients that I have at the time, shoes. I'm like, I want to talk to someone and I want to feel that somebody cares. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't like to talk. I mean, like when I have to call my bank and have those machines, I press you one if you want to talk with this. You press two, blah 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 blah, and you press all those numbers. And by the time that you get somebody on the phone, it is already 20 minutes, and that person is in a different, you know place in a global, I don't know where they are, and I'm like, do I trust them with my information and things like that? No, we need to be more personal with your business. I understand as your business grow, you're gonna have key people. You're gonna need key people, personal, that help you with the operations. That's fine, but this whole thing that you hire people over there, and you claim that you have a cleaning business, and at the end of the day, you having shit. You know what I mean? You pretend to have a cleaning business, and you over here just subcontracting, for the company, and you get half of what they are making, and the companies are not growing. You're growing yourself, like you're making all the money, but the companies that are putting the hard work out there, they are not, growing. So this is one of the things that I think it is good that we have our videos, because we are talking to people and make it and make them understand that, you know it is not gonna be easy, but if you push into it, and you're gonna be able to grow your business, and actually in the right way, and you're not
Yeah.
gonna have headaches.
And another, yeah, that's all really good info. And I think so many people, unfortunately, they don't really know what they want for their business. So many people just go right into it and they don't really have like a vision for their company. They're just like, they're just cleaning, right?
Yeah,
So,
we're gonna talk about that in another videos, about your mission and
right.
how your social responsibility.
So yeah, I think that was like all really good information. I think, everyone, needs to know this. And so I'm glad that we were able to touch on that. Do you have anything else you wanted to drop, any other gems to us?
No, I'm just saying. The only thing that I want to talk today, I think I already was able to say everything.
That was all
With
very
you
valuable
know,
info.
open the business. We are not over here, BS around. We are telling people as it is. And if you follow those steps, you can contact me, and you can contact David. We can mentor you if you guys have any information, need any information, because there are information materials there to for you to inform yourself. And I know that can be, oh my gosh, crazy. But unfortunately, if you want to open a business, a legit business, you have to go to this to learn, right? I just want to give an example.
Absolutely.
Everybody wanna be Jeff Bezos, right? Amazon, right? Oh, this guy that is in the yacht, like in the Mediterranean, like he's like filthy rich now. But the guy start where? In the garage. In his garage, right? In order for you to be successful like him, you have to start in the garage. You have to start from the bottom up. There is no shortcuts. Now, he's enjoy all the billions and gazillions of money that he has. Yes. But guess what? He is start from the bottom up. He knows everything about his company, right? Okay, now he has different people. He has a CEO. He just collecting the money. But in order for him to achieve that level, he had to start from the bottom up,
And so
right?
many people do not understand that. Like, so many people, they think they can just, like, I'll just give you an example. Like, I had an employee leave one time and try starting their own company, and they failed and they closed down, like, because they don't understand. It's not just cleaning. There's so much more, and that's what some people do not understand when they get into this. Some people are like, either number one, they're getting into this business out randomly and they're like, oh, wait, cleaning business, we always are going to make money, whatever. And then there's the people that actually do want to clean, but they don't know how to run the operation, right? So you've got to figure all those key pieces out.
Yeah, it's not, another thing that people need to realize that, and if you want to go into business, I'm not trying to discourage anyone, right? But, I have an MBA, and, had my own business, and I work with people along the time. Sometimes you are just good in operations. You know how to do the work, but you're not good in managing your business, right? That's okay, but you have to figure out how you're going to run your business if you don't have the skills to be on the paper side, administrative side, right? Because when you open a business, you have to know everything. You have to educate yourself. And many people make the mistakes to leave everything off to my friend, to my, my husband, my, and that's not the way you run a business. So you have to see, is this for me? Go ahead, and and if you have the patience to learn, and you go ahead, learn. But one thing that you cannot do is just have a cheap business, a dollar, a cleaning business from a dollar store.
That is seriously like you drop so much great information. Like I like to call them little gems or golden nuggets. But like honestly, there's so many people that message me, send me emails, and just like thank us for making videos like this. So we're super excited. You're taking time out of your day to come on and share this information with us, and I'm doing the same, taking time out of my day, and so thank you so much for coming on here. And I think both of you, me and you, are pretty similar. Like we like to share, real information to people that will help them, right? We like to do that. We like to help people. So, with that being said, we will be making another video actually next week. So, if there's anything else you guys want to see in particular, you can leave it in the comments down below. But we do have like a set itinerary of what we want to talk about in the next little bit. But we definitely will be looking for other video topics after that. Is there anything else you wanted to tell everyone?
I just want to say, everybody, just work hard, work for your dreams, and eventually things is gonna come true.
It will.
Sometimes, yeah,
And some
sometimes,
days and nights, it's like, oh my God, what am I doing with myself? And then when something magical happens, like you get a new contract or you hit that first 10 or 5,000 or 20,000, whatever, or that 50,000, like, you'll be like, wow, so you just have to
yes.
keep pushing.
Another thing. Sometimes we want things when we want things, but sometimes our time is not God's time. God's time, it is the best time. Eventually, if you keep pushing, things is gonna happen. If you do things the right way, you're just gonna go. You're just gonna be successful.
Yeah. And also another thing, people, you just be consistent, just keep doing it, even if you don't see results right away. Just keep going. It will come to you. So, yeah, I hope that really helped everyone. And we will see you guys in the next video.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.